Let me tell you about a new client I'll call Mark. Mark is sharp. He's spent years mastering technical analysis. His charts are a labyrinth of impeccably drawn Fibonacci retracements, converging EMAs, and pristine supply and demand zones. He can tell you the textbook perfect entry for any asset, any time frame. On paper, he is a trading genius. But Mark is broke. Not financially, though his account has taken a severe beating. He is psychologically broke. He sits slumped in the chair opposite me, not with sadness, but with a simmering, confused rage. He pushes his trading journal across the desk. The pages are filled with beautiful charts. The trades are meticulously noted, and the results are a random scatter of greens and reds, trending downwards. "I don't get it," he says, his voice tight. "I know my strategy works. I've backtested it 1,000 times. I see the setup, I take it. But then, I see it go a few ticks against me and I panic. I move my stop, or it goes in my favor, and I'm so scared it will reverse I take a measly profit, only to watch it rocket to my target without me. I'm my own worst enemy. I know what to do. I just can't do it." Mark is not unique. In my practice, I see 1,000 Marks. They have different names, different strategies, different account sizes, but the same core wound. They are all trapped in the same prison, the prison of outcome. They believe trading is a game of analysis. They are wrong. Analysis is the entry fee, the bare minimum to get a seat at the table. The real game, the only game that matters, is played in the 6 inches between your ears. It is a game of psychology. And the master key to escaping this prison, the single most important concept I teach, is not a complex risk management formula or a secret indicator. It is a mental shift. It is the cultivation of detachment from outcome. This is not a fluffy, spiritual concept. It is the hardest, most practical, and most profitable skill you will ever develop. It is what separates the perpetual amateur from the serene professional. It is the difference between being a gambler, sweating every tick, and being a CEO, calmly executing a business plan. This narrative is your session. We will diagnose why you are hardwired to fail, redefine what success truly means, and build a practical treatment plan to rewire your brain. This is not just about making money. It is about achieving a state of psychological freedom where the market can no longer hurt you. Before we can build a new, robust psychological structure, we must survey the wreckage of the old one. We must understand the enemy, and the enemy is not the market. The enemy is a set of ancient, biological wiring and cognitive shortcuts that served us well on the savannah but are disastrous in the financial markets. Imagine our ancestor hears a rustle in the bushes. His brain has 2 options. 1. Assume it's the wind. If he's wrong, he's lunch. 2. Assume it's a predator. If he's wrong, he's just a little jumpy. Evolution heavily selected for option 2. This better safe than sorry mechanism is housed in your amygdala, your brain's threat detection alarm system. It is fast, primal, and powerful. It doesn't think. It reacts. Now, fast forward to the modern day. Mark is staring at his trading screen. He's just entered a long position. The price ticks down $50 against him. A rustle in the bushes. Whoosh. The amygdala hijacks his brain. Logic and planning, the domain of the prefrontal cortex, are shut down. Cortisol and adrenaline flood his system. His heart rate spikes, his palms sweat. His body is preparing to fight, flee, or freeze. This is not a metaphor. It is a measurable physiological response. The primal part of his brain has equated a drawdown in a trade with a mortal threat to his survival. His reaction to jam on the sell button isn't a trading decision. It's a panic-induced reflex. He's not managing a trade. He's running from a saber-toothed tiger. Conversely, when a trade moves instantly into profit, another powerful neurochemical is released: dopamine. This is the molecule of reward, anticipation, and pleasure. Feels good. You are being chemically rewarded for the green number on the screen. This creates a powerful feedback loop. You aren't just making money, you are getting a biological high. This is the same mechanism exploited by slot machines and social media notifications. The danger is profound. You become addicted to the win, not to the process of making a good decision. You start chasing that dopamine hit, taking subpar trades just for the thrill of the potential reward. This is the neurobiological root of FOMO, fear of missing out. On top of this faulty hardware, our brain runs buggy software full of cognitive biases. Two are particularly destructive for traders. 1. The resulting error. This is the queen of all trading biases and public enemy number one. It is the tendency to judge the quality of a decision solely based on its outcome. Example: imagine two traders, Anna and Ben. Both see the same clear short setup on a stock that has rallied into a massive resistance zone. The trade has a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. They risk $100 to make $200. Anna takes the trade impeccably. She enters at the pin bar rejection, places her stop above the high, and her target at the support below. 5 minutes later, a completely unexpected, positive FDA announcement hits the wires. The stock gaps up 10%. She is stopped out for a $100 loss. Ben is distracted by a notification. He misses the initial entry. Furious at himself, he sees the price start to fall and FOMOs in late. He doesn't place a stop because he's sure it's going down. The same FDA news hits. The stock gaps up, but because he has no stop, he doesn't get filled. Panicked, he watches it rocket against him before finally selling for a $400 loss. Now, ask a naive observer, who made the better decision? The answer is unequivocally Anna. She made a high-probability decision and managed her risk perfectly. Ben made a series of terrible, undisciplined errors. However, our brains, wired for the resulting error, would tell a different story if we didn't know about the news. If the FDA announcement had been negative and the stock crashed, Anna would have been a genius, and Ben would have been lucky. We conflate outcomes with decision quality. This is why a beginner can have a lucky winning streak and believe they are a prodigy, setting themselves up for catastrophic failure later. It's why Mark feels like a failure after a string of well-executed losses, eroding his confidence. He is judging himself on outcomes he cannot control. 2. Loss aversion. Pioneered by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, this is the proven principle that for human beings, the pain of losing is psychologically about twice as powerful as the pleasure of winning. Losing $100 feels twice as bad as winning $100 feels good. This isn't a minor preference. It's a fundamental law of our psychological universe. It explains almost every destructive behavior in trading. Holding losers. The moment a trade goes into the red, the pain centers light up. To close the trade is to make the pain real, to admit the loss. So we avoid it. We move the stop further away, a psychological trick to avoid the imminent pain of the loss. We are trying to avoid a $100 loss now, even if it means risking a $500 loss later. Cutting winners short. As soon as a trade goes into profit, the fear of losing that paper gain becomes intense. The dopamine hit of winning is overtaken by the amygdala's fear of it being taken away. To lock in the profit is to avoid the future pain of seeing it vanish. So we sell, securing a small gain and often watching the trade then soar to its original target. The pain of missing the rest of the move is less acute than the immediate fear of losing what we have. The final piece of the diagnostic is the most pernicious: the fusion of your trading results with your self-worth. For many traders, especially those who tie their identity to being smart or successful, a losing trade isn't just a loss of capital. It is a loss of face. It is evidence that they are not smart, not a good trader, not a success. The daily P&L statement becomes a report card on their very being. A green day means, I am brilliant and worthy. A red day means, I am a failure and a fraud. This is an unbearable psychological roller coaster. It creates immense performance anxiety, ensuring that every trade is burdened with the weight of your entire ego. You're not just trading the euro to US dollar, you're trading your sense of self. This is why losses feel so catastrophic and wins often feel more like relief than triumph. Mark wasn't just angry about losing money. He was angry because the losses were a constant assault on his identity as a good trader. This is the toxic triad, the amygdala hijack, the resulting error, and the identity merger that ensures most traders will self-destruct. They are fighting a battle against 200,000 years of evolution with nothing but a lagging stochastic oscillator. It's a losing proposition. The path to salvation lies not in fighting this biology, but in understanding it and building a new framework around it. That framework begins with a radical redefinition of success. The professional trader and the amateur inhabit different psychological universes. They use the same words, win, loss, success, failure, but they mean entirely different things. Our goal is to migrate you from the amateur's universe to the professional's. Forget being a trader. From this moment on, your title is probability manager. Your business is not making money. Your business is identifying statistical edges and applying them over a series of events, all while strictly controlling risk. You are the CEO of a small, specialized hedge fund, the hedge fund of you. Think of a casino. Does the CEO of a major casino in Las Vegas sweat the outcome of a single spin of the roulette wheel? Does he run down to the floor, screaming at the dealer because black hit 5 times in a row? Of course not. He knows the house edge on roulette is 5.26%. He knows that over thousands of spins, that edge is virtually certain to manifest as profit. His job is not to worry about individual outcomes. His job is to 1. Ensure the game is played correctly, their edge is enforced. 2. Manage the capital to withstand inevitable streaks of bad luck. 3. Welcome every bet, knowing that in the long run, the probabilities are in his favor. A professional trader is the casino, not the gambler. A single trade is a single spin of the wheel. Your trading plan is your house edge. Your risk management rules are your bankroll management. This shift is liberating. It means the market's job is to deliver the outcomes. Your job is only to execute your process. You are responsible for your actions, not for the market's reactions. This is the core of detachment. With this new identity, we must destroy the old definitions and install new ones. A good trade, a decision that impeccably follows a predefined, edge-based process. It is characterized by flawless execution, correct entry, precise position sizing, disciplined risk management, and patient exit according to plan. Crucially, a good trade can result in a loss. In fact, you must expect a significant percentage of your good trades to lose. That is the nature of probability. If your edge means you win 60% of the time, you must be utterly comfortable with the 40% of losses. They are not failures. They are the inevitable cost of doing business, like a casino paying out a winning bet. A bad trade, a decision that violates your process. It is characterized by emotional reactions, poor risk management, revenge, FOMO, or laziness. Crucially, a bad trade can result in a profit. This is the most dangerous outcome of all. It's the trader's equivalent of a drunk driver getting home safely. It reinforces terrible behavior. The resulting error will scream, "See? It worked." But the professional knows it was a bad trade. It was luck. Rely on luck and you will eventually go broke. Let's revisit Anna and Ben with this new lens. Anna made a good trade that lost money. Ben made a bad trade that lost money. The outcome was the same, but the decisions were worlds apart. Anna should leave that trade feeling professional, disciplined, and confident. She did her job perfectly. The market simply didn't cooperate on that particular spin of the wheel. Ben should be deeply concerned with his lack of discipline. He failed in his role as a probability manager. Mark's entire journal needs to be regraded. He should put a large green checkmark next to every trade where he followed his rules, regardless of the P&L. And he should put a large red X next to every trade where he broke his rules, even if it was profitable. His goal is not to be right or to have more green days. His goal is to have more green checkmarks. This is the philosophical bedrock of detachment. You are transferring your source of confidence, your self-esteem, and your measure of success from the unpredictable external market, which you cannot control, to your own internal process, which you can control. This is how you build unshakable confidence. It is not based on winning. It is based on self-trust. Philosophy is useless without practice. We must now build rituals and routines that make this detached mindset your default state. This is the hard work, the daily psychological calisthenics. Every trade must begin not with a chart, but with a ritual. This ritual is designed to engage your prefrontal cortex, your rational CEO, and quiet your amygdala, your panicky intern. Before any money is on the line, the if-then script. Do not just look for a setup. Have a written checklist for your strategy. When you see a potential trade, you must physically or verbally articulate the plan. This makes it a contract. If price closes decisively above this key resistance level on the 1-hour chart, then I will enter a long position on the retest of that level as new support. My stop loss will be placed 10 pips below the low of the breakout candle. This risks 1.5% of my capital, which is $150. My profit target will be at the next major resistance zone, providing a 1 to 3 risk-reward ratio. This seems simple, but its power is profound. You are not just thinking it, you are declaring it. You are making a commitment to your process. Now, when the trade is live and the amygdala starts screaming because of a drawdown, you have a pre-written script to fall back on. You can tell the screaming in turn. The plan is already set. My job is done. We are following the plan. This is your psychological armor. The time between entering a trade and exiting it is a psychological minefield. This is where detachment is hardest and most necessary. The goal here is to become an observer, a custodian of the plan. The set and forget protocol. Once your trade is entered and your orders, stop and limit, are set, you walk away. Close the platform. Set an alert if you must, but do not watch the price gyrate tick by tick. Staring at the screen is like a recovering alcoholic staring at a bottle of whiskey. It invites temptation, the temptation to micromanage, to move stops, to take early profits. Your role now is not to do anything. Your role is to prevent yourself from doing something. You are in robot mode. The algorithm is running. Any intervention now is almost certainly an emotional reaction, not a strategic adjustment. When the urge to interfere arises, have a set of mantras ready. My job is done. The outcome is out of my hands. This is just one trade in a series of thousands. Its individual outcome is irrelevant. I am not my trade. My worth is not determined by this P&L. I am comfortable with the risk I have taken. I can afford to lose this amount. These are not affirmations. They are factual statements that re-engage the rational brain and disempower the emotional one. This is the most important part of your entire development and the ultimate practice of detachment. Most traders look at the P&L first and then rationalize their actions based on the outcome. We will reverse this entirely. The golden rule: analyze the trade before you see the P&L. Your trading journal should not be a list of trades with profit/loss. It should be a process execution scorecard. Here is a template for your review, to be filled out immediately after every trade, with the platform closed. 1. Trade ID and date. 2. Strategy/setup. What specific setup was I waiting for? E.g., pullback to 50 EMA in a strong uptrend. 3. Process execution grade, AF. This is the most important field. A flawless execution. I followed my plan perfectly. B. Minor deviation, but overall good, e.g., entered a few pips away from ideal entry. C. Several deviations, but the core of the plan was intact. D. Major breach of process. I broke key rules. F. Complete abandonment of plan. Revenge trade, FOMO trade, no stop loss. 4. Entry analysis. Did I enter at the plan trigger? Was I patient? 5. Risk management. Did I size my position correctly for my predefined risk percent? Was my stop loss placed logically according to my strategy? 6. Exit analysis. Did I exit at my predefined target? Did I move my stop loss? Did I close early out of fear? 7. Emotional state. What was I feeling before, during, and after? Calm, anxious, greedy, fearful, confident. 8. Lesson. What can I learn about my process or my psychology from this trade? 9. Outcome, P&L. Only after completing all the above, you may record the financial result. This practice physically and mentally decouples the outcome from the decision. It makes the process the star of the show and the P&L a mere footnote. A week filled with a grades but a slightly red P&L is a phenomenally successful week. It means you are executing perfectly and are simply experiencing the natural negative variance of your strategy. You are on the right track. A week filled with D and F grades but a green P&L is a disastrous week. It means you are getting lucky and building terrible habits that will inevitably destroy you. Mark's homework was to re-enter his last 50 trades into this new journal format. When he came back, he was a different man. The confusion was gone. "I thought I was just unlucky," he said. "But I see now that over half my winning trades were C or worse. I was being rewarded for being sloppy. And my losing trades, most of them were actually A and B grades. I was punishing myself for doing the right thing." This was the moment his transformation began. You will not achieve perfect detachment overnight. You will have bad days. You will break your rules. You will feel the sting of a loss and the euphoria of a win. This is normal. The goal is not perfection. It is consistent improvement. It's about how you handle the inevitable setbacks. The emotional hangover. After a large loss or a string of losses, even well-executed ones, you will feel it. You will feel demoralized, frustrated, doubtful. Acknowledge the feeling. Say it out loud. "I feel terrible right now. That was a frustrating series of events." Do not suppress it. By acknowledging the emotion, you rob it of its power. You separate yourself from it. You are not the frustration. You are the one observing the frustration. The mandatory cool-down period. After a significant breach of discipline, a revenge trade, a blown stop, or after a large loss that affects you emotionally, you must walk away. Your judgment is compromised. Implement a hard rule. No trading for the rest of the day. Forcing yourself to trade while on tilt is like trying to perform surgery with shaky hands. You will only do more damage. Go for a walk. Exercise. Meditate. Do anything that is not trading. This is not a punishment. It is a risk management protocol for your psyche. Reconnecting with why. Periodically, you must reread your trading plan. Touch the document. This is your constitution. It is your source of authority. In moments of doubt, go back to it. Remind yourself of your edge, your statistics, your rules. This regrounds you in your identity as a probability manager and away from the emotional whirlwind of the moment. Detachment from outcome is the highest form of professional respect you can pay to the markets and to yourself. It is the acknowledgement that you control nothing but your own actions. It is the ultimate surrender to probability. The great paradox of trading is this: the less you need a trade to be profitable, the more capable you become of allowing it to become profitable. When you are detached, you can let your winners run because you are not desperate to secure the gain. You can cut your losers quickly because you are not afraid to be wrong. You are free. This is not a path that ends. It is a continuous practice, a daily meditation on the nature of control, uncertainty, and self-worth. But for those who commit to it, the reward is greater than any monetary gain. The reward is freedom. Freedom from anxiety, from greed, from fear, from the tyrannical ups and downs of your account statement. Mark eventually found this freedom. He still has losing trades. He still has losing days. But he no longer has losing weeks of his mental capital. He now looks at a red trade, sees his A grade in the journal, and simply says, "Next." He has become the unshakable trader, the calm CEO of his own destiny, no longer a prisoner of outcome. You can too. It starts with a single decision: to value your process more than your profit.